is known for being somewhat of a brawl. We'll get to see Fnatic up to their
victory here at EPL as we move deeper into stage 2 now. Astralis looking to find their first victory. They'll start on the CT side here, and we'll get into the action momentarily. No upgraded pistols on either side, and we will see a B lean from Fnatic here. They do like to trickle in towards that B bomb side as Flusher, just showing some tendencies towards long, but it will be a full commitment here. Dupree already fired off most of his bullets, but still gets the first kill. Golden answers back, and Glaive and Mage is still ready and waiting on the B side.
Yeah, Glaive's just jiggling so the Magis can take the fight. Now he's actually hitting the shots he needs to. Crim's down to 2. Should be finished by Magis. JW, however, not interested in losing this round, has got access back to the B site. Rotates come in, bomb will be retrieved, and suppressing shots from Flusher enable the retrieval of the bomb. Crossing could be deadly. He does get across. Device and Glaive, they might want to contest. The smoke has bloomed by the doors, means that window is the most likely avenue of assault, and straight through the smoke, Flusher has struck, often the word I would have used, and Zipex trying to strike again.
Oh, it's such a Fnatic round, this one. The way they're winning it as well, just by the skin of their team. No. JW has snuck out the doors here. The bomb is getting to a very difficult position for Astralis to actually retake this one. They have no kick currently. They're trying to find him. They have no idea where he is. This is a horrible round of CS. No one really connecting. JW, though, he's done enough, as they will close it out. It's the scrappiest round you're ever likely to see.
Yeah, and we never know what he's going to do. I don't think he does half the time. It's difficult to see him have 2 good days back-to-back. That was a problem we had during stage 1, Henry.
Absolutely. Performances against Big where they actually fell flat. True, yesterday losing to FaZe 16-8 on Mirage to open things up, and the day before they lost 16-2 to NIP on Overpass. It feels like it's a common trend for Fnatic, but right now they've had enough of it. They thought, you know what? In
5 rounds, Fnatic have found opening kills in 4 of them. Here's an example right there. A Flusher taking down Device without a chance. The only round the secondary AWPing setup we'll be talking about, we'll find out after these highlights.
Golden. He had 6 bullets and went for the taps. I like that. He was up against the scout. Felt like he could take.
There's a better name for it than that. That's
hospital.
The beep beep thing. You know, he's dying.
I know what you're talking about. As you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, no.
I haven't been to a hospital.
Would have been at that point. They would have been discussing, you know, who's going to be nading where, what positions that they were potentially going to be clearing as they went on up. It's highly likely that Magus saw him just as much as, you know, he was able to get the vision into the site. Hanging around with that stack after you've potentially been noticed, most people wouldn't do it. Stats coming up of these 2 teams and how often they played each other. It was a huge amount. It was 66 wins for Astralis and 60 for Fnatic. But I want everybody to understand that it's to do with the cores. We operated on a core 3, basis, which is Dupree, Device, and Zipex over there on the Astralis camp, and Fnatic, 2 that you want to be brawling, and then they had their safe pairs of hands. You had Glaive, you had Device, and you obviously had Zipex as the 3 who are a little bit more passive. But right here, Glaive doing this, we've seen Fnatic
be back with the second half momentarily.
Even have a shout into our first match.
And it's not like Astralis didn't turn up today. They got 7 opening duel victories there in the first half, can only convert 3 of them. So it's Fnatic, they're just firing on all cylinders, looking incredibly strong. Dust2 suits their play style. We'll see a straight up B rush here, but looks things jumping around here like little rabbits making their way through. Roland will find the first, but they have actually managed to break through, as Crims will be stuck behind the doors now.
Good shots from Flusher. He's going to try and close the gap. And yeah, look at this. Device is going to be responsible for tunnels, but they're coming from all angles. He has to hit some good shots, and that's the perfect start. Zipex has done the same. Advantage Astralis on the pistol. It's been one of the strong suits of their game so far. They've won a lot of pistols, and this one seems no different. Straight away, thrown Crims into a 1 versus 3. Sure, he's got a kit, and Magisk even giving him a headshot chance. Won't take it, and will not be taking the round. Astralis don't have to move too much of a muscle. Device is just staring at the doors, and Magisk does hunt for some info and loses his life. Crims maybe could take 1 more out of this one. He's thinking about it, but no.
Well, there we have it. Straight up B rush. Shadow 2 players jumping around.
Opportunities we've been talking a lot about, where if you were on the T side in this scenario, you would instantly be rebuying in. On the CT side, you're kind of tempted. You're thinking about it, right? You know that you took 4 players away.
Only manages to get 1. If he gets both those kills, trust me, they're winning that round. So he'll be gutted with that one as Astralis claw another one back. Gonna be 4-1 in the second half. Just the 1 round. It was number 4 after losing the pistol and the 0-3 conversion. They did manage
as well. It's like 3 kills separating top from bottom. This was Glaive turning it on with his opening frag on long, and And the rest just came naturally. This was ridiculous from Golden. Just sees the nade being thrown and adjusts through the doors.
Well, they're right back in this game now. AWP as we get into a US Air Force tactical timeout here. Device dominates. Device is the third performance against Fnatic, holding a 1.35 rating and 1.45 kill to death against him in the past 6 months. He is Mr. Consistent. He always turns up. Had a quiet first half, Chad, but we are starting to see that AWP starting to do some serious damage. Wonderful performance there.
I think when you have Electronic and Simple as your two link players and Yard and Secret, the ones to deal with the most problem area and the hardest to do with rotations, you're onto something there. You've got two very, very strong individuals who synergize really well. The same can be said for Astralis right now as they continue to mount this comeback. Fluff from Astralis, running out mid to B with the bomb, literally delivering it to the B doors for the CTs to hold, and then Brolin mopping them up. They continue to lose so many strings of rounds. They're always going to have the max loss bonus, right? The 3,400, it's not going to be shy for them. It's something they're quite familiar with at this stage of the game. So see those pistol rounds where Crims had the 5-7? We can have a few more of them
themselves from a 14-12 situation. Astralis have come fully online here. This has looked impressive. The only rounds that Fnatic have picked up have been scrappy, is where Astralis made a few mistakes, or when Fnatic have just had the pistols here. Their money is not in an amazing position, but there is a buy there. It'd be a mixture of 13 is found, and it's just due to mistakes, Chad, again, where Fnatic have been picking these rounds up.
Yeah, when they go back and they recount how they lost some of these rounds, Astralis are going to look and feel pretty hard done by, but Fnatic, they have to be in the right places to capitalize on these, and they've been doing exactly that. Reflect back to the start of the game, oh so long ago, the 1v2 clutches from JW. We could have had a whole different pacing to this.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, if after all of that, the unforced errors or these chaotic rounds that Fnatic have converted in their second half, it's enough to pull them across the line thanks to the hard graft they presented in the first. Contesting long, or at least considering it, the smokes, molotovs, flashes, and all of the bullets have been engaged very early, and that does leave Astralis with control of the T side of long.
This is very Na'Vi-esque though, right? We've become accustomed with this. They did it on the Antico. It looks like they wanted to go for the similar play on the gun round here. Have Fnatic learned a thing or two? Do they have a counter in mind now that there's full utility out on the board?
Time will tell. Strong real estate found for Astralis here. Full long take with the bomb. Bit of a reply from Fnatic as they smoke off short, confirming that area is clear, and there's no one actually ready to pounce towards the A side. Molotov towards Car, trying to flush these CT players out. Pushing towards the bomb site. No one at that Car position as they transition back towards the B area now. So the bomb's going to be on the back of Major's here. They still have smokes available. We've talked about the open skyboxes towards the B tunnels now. So you can smoke the doors and the window from this area, but it's very obvious when you do so. So most teams are still opting for the dribble smoke in front of tunnels, and it does negate the AWP most of the time. We'll see if that comes through as Device will be faking towards A. They've got crossover smokes enabled for Dupree and Device. They might even commit off these and try and get a couple of kills as their teammates get ready and waiting for dribble smoke and B, but they need to wait for a bit of action towards A, a response from the CT side first.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued and more interested into Golden and his responsibility on B. He's falling off. And now here it comes. Caught off in the transition. Mollies, but he has done well to find one. Not a second. He makes sure of that. Glaive. Flusher, however, catching the mid player. Crims has closed the gap. Glaive's in the doors. The smoke in the spray is not quite enough. Glaive lives on to fight another day. 100 HP at 2 versus 4 in order to close this gap. Or will it be the end of Dust2?
It was a great idea from Astralis, but it was Golden that found the all-important kill here. 4 versus 2 now. Astralis do have the potential to win this, but they've only got a decoy to do so. They're going to have to be combative. Glaive needs to get his kill towards the tunnels quickly. If he finds it, there's a chance, but that's going to be it. 16-13 in favor of Fnatic, but Astralis have made a statement in this second half. They are turning up to this series. They aren't going down without a fight.
They've been looking for their individual brilliance. We saw a flash of it on Dust2 as they
in the vent with the revolver using that ladder accuracy.
Touche.
Well, for now, the Julie's be brought out to kick things off for Brolan. He'll be on top of the hut or towards ramp. It looks like he's gone for the former here and a couple of HEs as well. Fnatic is starting to bring that into their game more and more as we'll see a very fast outside approach here. In terms of outside smokes, nothing down. Just a clean run towards outside, knowing the tendencies of Fnatic, I suppose. And Flusher has no idea they've already got down, Chad.
They mollied the vent from Squeaky here. Zippy within lobby mollied the vent through Squeaky so they couldn't rotate initially.
No one's lower. There's no single CT presence towards the lower bomb site at all. No one's got there. They have to come through ramp at this point, but there is a good chance. With no smokes down, they still could deny this. Astralis haven't punished the fact they had an open lower site.
It's a bit late. Bomb's not gone down. That will be Dupree's task now. Glaive positioned perfectly for the first headshot. JW does go down. They're just coming in from ramp, and it's looking problematic. Another frag for Astralis as Golden does get added to the tally. This is going to be just a lockout. They can't really get past the ramp doors. Bronn eventually arriving to the scene, but Magisk has had all the time in the world to set himself up, make a nest, and, well, they flourish. It will be the Astralis perfect read. And
Crims can probably drop one, but then where does the third gun come from? You know, that's where the compromise
That's where the MP9 comes from.
Yeah, so have to take liberties with the lower buys. What we're seeing out of the teams like the FaZes, like the Fnatics, with the game plan looks like it is to isolate ladder and go for these type of frags, whereas normally with Astralis, it's do the secret smokes, get lower control, force the CT rotate. Well, no, because if you get players down secret, they have to respect that. So they have to rotate individuals away from some of these areas. So ramp will just be left with one player because an individual has to watch the lower bomb side. Top side, maybe that's your hut player. He has to drop off of hut, go down the vent. That means maybe...
It's normally Glaive that will get right down there first, which it was this time as well. Nice work from Zipex, a long-range Mac-10 there, making it work. Upgrades to the AK-47, gets it done here with 1 HP. As he saw, Broyland so unlucky that grenade didn't take him down to be spotted. So Astralis more than happy to operate under the AK-47. This was the kill with the revolver on the side of the head. Made just to close things out though. Managed to pick up all the last 3 kills. This one especially, very nice shot.
Yeah, important round. Surprises me with this gentleman anymore. This is the openings. Great stuff from him to exploit their execute. And here we go.
No scope as well.
Has to be.
Must have been.
Oh, he quick scoped. He quick scoped on the ladder.
Perfectly on the head, and then wins the round.
Forced tactical timeout will be coming to its close. Trying to illustrate the worst CT side pistol rounds of all Stage 2 teams.
Yeah, pistol rounds has not been Fnatic's strong suit, and quite the contrary. Fnatic thrive in the second round. That's their pistol round. Getting a little highlight reel of Magisk. He's been one of the top contributors so far, and this quad kill was one of the most important kills he got.
JW, though, this was probably the most impressive kill we've seen all day. AWP, and still going strong. Do you think we'll still be going in 5 years' time?
I hope so.
Yeah?
Fingers crossed.
I hope so too. It's
It won't have repercussions, but now we can see those flashes.
Here we go. So they're going to net up in Squeaky, and it's all just through main. So it's all through Squeaky door. There's nothing coming out through the rafters at all.
Nothing skylights. Yeah. So that was what I wanted to know. Is it like a really technical, intricate strategy with Molotovs coming through and skylights and stuff? No, just constant bombardment of flashbangs there through the Squeaky, and everyone just getting out, and no one's stopping. You notice everyone kept pressing W there?
Yeah.
No one's slowing down for a fight. You run and gun, you get stuck in, and you use those flashbangs to overwhelm the CTs and get control and make sure you're spaced out so they can't get multi-frags there. Could be another round for Fnatic on the cards if Broyland can keep that up. A nice early kill towards Zipex keeps the game competitive here. Astralis have won the half, but Nuke is not the CT side of affair it used to be. And now on the 5-on-3, Fnatic look very good for their 7th round. It's up to them to give it away at this point. Just need to tuck in. Don't need to push smokes. Everyone just calm down.
Ooh, Glaive. Could have got caught out there. Surprised he didn't. JW misses a shot, but Flush is not missing anything in these last few rounds. That's a clinical dissection of Dupree. The boost, they were ready. JW was looking for it. He's even taken Glaive. And just Magisk stopping it from being a perfect round to finish the half, but it's there. Feels pretty perfect to me. A triple kill from JW seals the 8-7 half. Astralis, a minor lead coming into their defense on their map. A must win. We'll see how they fare after a moment.
I'm feeling they'll close this map out, but Fnatic, they are looking stronger, Alex.
Yeah, I'd say we've still got the potential. There is the vibe for a potential 2-0, but it is entirely in the hands of both Fnatic and Astralis. Pistol round stats, they are a little measly, but it seems that Astralis just continue to rack them up.
Not just for the plant that, but an extra 800 for every player on the team going to the next round. So if your money's a little bit buggered, that's a great way to just inject a nice amount of cash going forward. So yeah, that replay, worth its weight in gold, if you don't mind me saying. Either way, it will be Astralis, though. Picking things up is a very common flash approach. The HE actually thrown by Glaive there to do so much damage towards Crims, and this is after the full spam. Glaive finds himself in an awkward situation where the USB comes out on top, even with the knife.
Into the first, he's holding the angle, but he's ready to adjust. Falls back, the doors are open, so he can catch the next. Look at that. Perfect shot onto Golden. He knew what their game plan was. The third is just the cherry on.
Yeah, there, the first shot just stunning. Let's see if he even needs a scope for this. Definitely not. Complete one tap to the head. Another one at ramp, and then Crims. We did spot Zipex there towards open
It's an
area.
open site. No.
I'd
Nothing
kind of
to
get
stop the explosion.
If you did like an Indiana Jones, you got inside the fridge, for example, maybe that would be fine. But you didn't. You're
He's in the open.
And
in a nuclear power plant.
you would think that would be enough to kind of take you out. At least put you on the rifles. I think you pretty much have to buy here. Here's the replay from Device, just negating the flashbangs and hitting all these close-range shots. You can see his teammates here jumping in front of him, making sure they can take some of the aggro as it comes through.
Top rush didn't work for them just then, and now with pistols on board and some MAC-10s, it's curious as to what approach they could possibly go for here. The secret wall smokes are standard. They've been given access to that a couple of times. You can snowball round win, even with the saved AWP. They still will have a couple of compromises with their buy here. This was phenomenal stuff, but Device with an uncharacteristic miss right there, and you see him trying to push on out.
Creates a slight gap. It gives Glaive 2 frags. So, sure, they do no damage. They're using a different way to enable them to find kills with it. So it's very, very impressive, and we'll see Astralis find map points indeed as they rush towards up as the pistols only. A UMP thrown into the mix, but it looks like we're all done here. Dupree making light work of them here as he sprays them down one by one. He's on for the ace. He won't pick it up, but Astralis with an undeniable victory there on Nuke. They look fantastic throughout it. A good resurgence from Fnatic, to be fair, but he's up against the best now. Astralis looking to buy back an Inferno.
Prepare yourselves, prepare your friends, and prepare your poggers. We're getting into our third map. Three towards the banana. Bomb left at spawn. They have no intentions of early exchanges. At least that's the T side I'm talking about, because Brolin has. He wants to bring the fight to Zipex, and the CZ draws blood early.
Nice movement. We're seeing this more and more. The CZ towards that boiler or apartment position. This time very aggressive with it. Removes Zipex early on, and here's the reply. Device is actually getting one towards CT spawn and Ruins here. The Glock is going to be an absolute nuisance. The HE is deployed, and it's worked out nicely. Flusher absolutely devours Device at this point, and the bomb will be planted, but it's a 5 versus 3. So they've got the money for the next round, and it's up to Dupree now to fend off 3 players pushing that banana position.
He doesn't know what he wants to do. Magisk perhaps bait him in as best he can. No, just separated on the sandbags. Magisk needs another one quickly, and Brolin's doing everything he can to avoid it, but JW finds it. Glaive at a shooting gallery. Flusher, however, will deal with it, and we will see Fnatic deal with the Astralis T pistol. 1-0.
Wow, it got quite exciting there for a
second. It certainly
second.
did. I thought that B-hole, that banana hold was going to work.
Yeah, it looked like Glaive had the potential for a couple of kills there, to be honest with you. Made this now, knowing there was aggressive players towards the apartment position. They got in towards B, Device towards the Ruins, but taken down by Flusher. That was pretty much their only avenue of approach that was going to work out for them.
It was all with that admiration of how well they use their nade to condition parts of the map, or the rallies of nades that we see in Banana, the new exchanges, the new combinations. It's constantly growing, but Astralis are no longer the only team with that strength.
Oh,
yes, I am the commissioner of the OG fan club.
Well, you'll see the knee and
Tested 3 against Na'Vi, found himself in the bottom 5 performers of all of the players we have right now within Stage 2. Well, that new game that we just saw in this clutch right here, he's definitely going to be jumping. The idea here is you are unraveling Astralis before they can get into the throes of their gun round. You're not letting them be comfortable with their defaults. You're not letting them go through their dry runs. You're forcing them to play these mid-range. JW was forward with the rifle. You can see here, look at this. He couldn't be greeted with a better strafe out from Zipex, straight into the crosshair.
yeah, his head no less. His fancy Astralis.
There's a smoke over towards Arch. You're not catching that, but it's this same routine of flashes that they think is good enough to deal with a mid defense. Well, JW's turned away from every single one of them. He's been a nuisance. At that point, they can throw caution to the wind even more so. Right? They are playing a style of Counter-Strike right now just to completely unravel Astralis. It's working.
This is Dupree giving out headshots. This was on towards Golden. He's trying to make sure they didn't survive with any weapons towards the end.
Our third map. It was a crazy battle on Dust2 with an incredible attempt at a comeback from the Danes. We just saw
Game plan, risking it in a moment like this to potentially, you know, show them that you can do it too. Might come back to bite you. It seems like Fnatic...
He still has $5,000. And here are the scores so far. No one really dropping off significantly. You can see, considering the scoreline, it's about what you would expect. Flusher at the top, though, at 96 ADR. Brodan just beneath him, who feels like he's been getting wrecked in the apartments, but still fragging when required. Same story for Crims.
I want to grab Brolin there, Henry. We're about to head...
Astralis get back underway. They've actually managed to pick up the last 4 out of 5 rounds here, as we'll take a US Air Force tactical timeout. Fnatic calling their first. had a great start here. Remember, they were 7-1 up and stick to their AK-47s.
No complaints there. We'll see how Flusha got this party started. He just flashed himself into the angle.
Really ridiculous.
That was the return.
Good shot from Flusha to close it out as well. Guaranteed forced tactical timeout here. This current Fnatic roster have now played 116 games, of which they've won 74 maps. That's 64%, if you like numbers.
I mean, you can see how that contrasts with, you know, teams that were in the first stage of EPL. I remember we brought up Virtus Pro as an example, which was something much less enticing. Something around the 16 of 45 in the recent games. It was an absurd number. That is, of course, not the official stats, but it wasn't too far away from it. 9-5, last round of this last map's first half.
I'm sure 10-5 sounds much prettier for Fnatic when they'll be hitting onto the side of their offense. And 9-6 probably sounds pretty good on that Astralis camp as well. This has been a good game. It's been very back and forth. I loved the approach from Fnatic within the early stages. It's been forcing this Astralis roster to continue to adapt. And now as we do head into round 15, it's this fast holes approach we were just highlighting. They can get a lot of information from here, or they could even just bounce on out.
Look at Brolin's position, though. Very active, very deadly for the first. And Crims has managed to keep the levels or the numbers favoring his squad. JW trying to play a gap in the smoke. He is going to be pressured by Magisk and Boiler, but he's almost
going through.
Walking through it. That's a ballsy move. Does get punished, but Golden secondary AWP still manages to find some usefulness on a retake scenario. It could be haunting, but he hasn't had no issues. So now just Zipex and Device.
Yeah, that's all that remains. It's the final round. No saving here, that's for sure. Fnatic adjust themselves now. Get together. They're all towards Arch. They have been smoked out, but I think there's a gap in that smoke. It doesn't look ideal. As they set up the retake themselves, you can see him trying to remove Device, but he's getting them through the smoke at this point. Crims will be dropped. Golden down to 18.
They have to go.
Surely there's no chance for them here. They're running out of time. They need quick frags now. One bullet towards Golden would take him down. He's got 1 HP.
Get him
How
on
has he survived it? He's got to spam towards the bomb now, Device. Have you got enough? He's got to defuse this. And I think he's done it. It will be the bomb going off in the nick of time. Astralis steal away. Round number 15 and ends the half at 9-6. Electrifying counter-strike there to close things out. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the second half.
Well, we do have it on replay. Here it is, Crims. Spamming the Glock.
He does get it. Straight through.
That's kind of towards the end. Gets them just after the bomb explodes as well as Golden and quad. That second kill was beautiful, and Crims pretty standard by his level.
See the JW strafe.
So you
see
can
how
see
fast he moved.
The idea is Dupree shouldn't have vision there with the smoke towards the hay bales, so he can actually just focus on the pit player, but he did not land the smoke. If it does actually go off by even a couple of inches, it lands in between the hay bales and goes inside it. And that's exactly what happened.
It did work in the sense of holding
Yes,
it back.
of course.
The fake worked wonderfully, but I don't think Fnatic accounted for a Zipex double kill as the solo defender of the site. Gets the 2, and despite what Golden did contribute, too many bodies dropped before.
Prerequisites to actually get them in contention for the victory here, as Mages to spraying them down one by one. Very iconic position of his. Crims, good job.
Good shot.
Around $4,000, you can see Zipex not even a flash at this point. They're all focusing towards CT spawn. He gets himself a couple 1 points. Both Astralis and Fnatic have won 4 of their 5 past series matchups. So yes, indeed, looking like they're in great form.
We get to see that again from his POV. This second frag onto JW was everything. Just taking that corner of the box duel enabled him to separate into 3 1v1s. Otherwise, JW and Golden both swinging in together. That's not going to be much more for Magisk.
Yeah,
but he makes a hole, he makes a gap, and he gets a double. This is how the round started for Brolin, and that's just a ridiculous catch. You see Zipex did put some pressure on from the flank. This is his third with the missed shot from JW, but look at this. Jumps, sees, sprays.
Oh my god.
Madness.
Ridiculous round from Brolin. Nice catch him off guard, or they go for the more conservative approach and have another partial bite and try and close it out at round number 30. Either way, a very convincing T side. 16K start money as well. Everything would be fully reset, and Fnatic, their morale would be low.
So Astralis are opening this 30th round with a 3-man B setup. They send the AWP there. And that's going to be Device just responsible for the early banana hold. He'll get flashed off and make sure that they hear the shot. It wasn't like he was actually aiming for anyone in particular so much as it was just to make sure that the AWP presence is seen should he rotate back around.
This could be a Fnatic classic here. One of these rounds where they just milk the clock down to the final 20, 25 seconds and do the last minute fakes, which just keeps their opponent on their toes and guessing. I remember back in Malmo, the one that flusha called on Inferno with the faked footsteps and then the banana presence, that one was mental.
Oh, yeah. He jumped over half wall with the bomb on his back and then ran A.
Could it be replicated, though? They're going to have to find some sort of opening here. It feels like Astralis have just taken the opening frag in the last few rounds. By virtue of that sniper rifle, Device, one of the masters, the defensive AWPing. 50 seconds remain. Chad might be onto something here. They're going to smoke motor, but looks at things as they start to reposition. Face towards Library. See if that's enough to take the vision away from Blaze.
Smoke blooms, he jumps for info. A lot of players are really starting to refuse to bow down to the gaps in these smokes. He's actually pushed ahead of it. Roland can sneak through.
Yeah, that is a number. That is a straight up. So he's a smoke down, you've gone through the gap, and there's no real indication as to where he came from. A 5 versus 4. Can they close it out now? Fnatic have the advantage. They know where Magus is, and Roland somehow survives. Duqueen needs multiple frags here. Magus will find one, and a 3 versus 2 now. As the rotating players are stuck towards Library and the top of middle. Bomb to be planted. Device left with Zipex here. Flashbang is perfect to hold him off.
JW's duel onto Magisk, that was so important. By shutting down that pit player after only just one, it looked like he was set for a multi-kill. So quick AWPing from him, and now he's gone down. He gets hunting, gets a bit horny, and now Roland and Crims to stop it from happening. And now one more. Zipex to clutch to take us to overtime. It's on Crims. Crims has done it, and so have Fnatic. They remain unbeaten. 2 for 0. Two of the biggest scalps in the